Hello, you guys. Hey, it's Jonathan. So I wanted to go ahead and make this little video to be able to go ahead and show you guys the bare minimum to go ahead and jump in the game and be able to start playing. So to be able to do that, you would go ahead and get on to the server. So they're on the pinned. Why? Oh yeah, sorry. Okay, in the pinned up here, there is all of the documents right here. So the one that you want to go ahead and look at first, if you want to just figure out the game is pretty simple. It plays very similar to D&D. There's still initiative. There's still roles for things, but I simple it down to 3 for everything, for all of them, just to make it really, really simple. So if anything requires your brain, you have to go ahead and use your mind. It does anything, go ahead and you need to move something and destroy something, you use your body. If you want to go ahead and use a blast or a destroying thing, you need to go ahead and use spirit. And each of them affect you in a different way. So to be able to put it simply, for body, everybody has 6 health no matter what. Nobody can go below 6 health, even if you have negative in body. And for every point that you put onto body, it will go directly in. So if you have 1 point to body, you have 7 health. If you have +5, you have 11. If you have +6, you have 12. And so on and so forth. Then when it comes to Deus Machinas, this is what you use to go ahead and move out the way. So Deus Machinas are your ways to be able to dodge from attacks, even not on your turn. So if somebody's attacking you, they either have to make it pass. If you have armor, your armor, or they need to go ahead. Sorry, excuse me. Or they need to go ahead and use a Deus Machina to go ahead and dodge the attack. Or there's a lot of ways to be able to use your Deus Machinas throughout the mini gods. And then we go to charges. So all of you have 1 charge, like permanently, just like the Deus Machinas and the charges. Both of those are permanent. You can't lose that. You can't go below 6 health, and like you can't start off with below 6 health. Like your health will always be 6 unless you start getting hit and stuff like that. But then your Deus Machina starts at a 3 and a 1, and for every turn you go through, you will go ahead and gain your Deus Machinas back and your charges back. Any health points that you have been hit from, that will be taken out. But how do you hit? Let me go ahead and get into it. So to go ahead and hit, you would go ahead and roll a d20 plus your body or whatever you're trying to use. So if you're trying to blast somebody, d20 plus your spirit would be your way to go ahead and blast somebody. And for every charge you use, you roll 1d20 for damage. Then when it comes to trying to swing a sword, it's 1 HP to swing a normal sword. If you get a unique sword, it might cost more, but it costs 1 health to swing your sword. But there's a system in this game called holds that are called, I don't know why I just said it like that, that are called holds. The holds will allow you to pretty much, you will hold the health in a pool, like almost like you are exhausting yourself. So say if you had a pool of 11 health, right? You attack 4 times with this sword, normal sword, right? It will be 4 d20s, and you will lose 4 health until the next turn which that those 4 will be returned to you. But if say something was just slapping you around and was able to go ahead and do some damage to you, you would, if you fell below, so say 11, we subtracted 4, so that is 7, and then something smack, hits you for a 3, and then a 4, right? And then gets you knocked out. That would knock you out because those 4 points of health were held because you were tired. You're like, from swinging your sword and everything like that. And that goes for your Deus Machinas and your charges. So it's very resource management. So every single turn, anything that is held or used will return. So any charges that are used one turn, next turn they're back. So that is kind of the like how everything works. So if there's an attack from one person to another, there's instead of a normal like, oh, I have to beat a certain number, it's a contest every time. So it's a D20 versus me. So each time I'm going to roll the monster versus you. So their body stat was a 15 plus this, and yours was a 20 plus 7, and you were able to go ahead and beat them. So you know that they're somewhere in that range. So you can go ahead and do that, kind of keep that mental math. Like my friend was really good about that, Derek. He constantly was able to figure out the monster's strength because of the rolls that were happening. So that's a good strategy. But let's continue though. So that's kind of how the game works. So like just rolling it from back to the top. Roll a d20 to go ahead and see who starts the fight, who was the fastest. You always use your highest stat to go ahead and roll for an initiative. So, yeah. Then you go ahead and whenever you're in combat, whatever you're using, you'll use that stat unless something is forcing you to use a different stat. So you will lead with that stat. And so if somebody were to fight, say if I was my monster as the DM was the first one to roll, I would try to attack you with my body, right? Trying to go ahead and stab you. And say if you were a spirit user that uses charges, then you would go ahead and say, I want to go ahead and put up a magic barrier in front of me to go ahead and stop his attack with my charges. So you have to use one charge to be able to stop it from hitting you. So, and that will allow you to use your spirit, your spirit. I don't know. Look, I don't know the hand symbol for spirit. The spirit, I guess, is a good one. You have to use your spirit against their body to go ahead and defend yourself with magic. If you're really smart, had a lot of mind, you would be like, I dodge rolls to the side and then throw some sand in his eyes. That's like, okay, the dodge roll is a free one, but if you want to go ahead and do the dodge roll with sand, it might be disadvantaged. Or you can use 2 Deus Machinas, and then you can go ahead and just roll 1 mind check, and that'll be it. So the game is very flexible. I built it very flexible. It's more of a constant conversation than it is the rules clearly say this. If the group and us come to that's too cool to let it slide, then it's gonna ride. And I will have to deal with that. Don't worry. But if something is just like, I don't know about that. That doesn't seem real, or it doesn't seem cool, like it really matches with what we were doing. Then we cut it and then we move on. So that's kind of what. If it cool, like if we go back to the. Actually, I haven't even opened it. So, wait, did I? Yeah, actually did open this. So let me move me. Okay, that's not the best place. All right. So, these are the cardinal rules. I wanted to go over this. Like, I kind of really hard skimmed over this. If you really want to go in depth into it, you can. I believe that we'll be fine. We'll be fine. If it makes too much sense, then any argument is past tense. If it's too dang cool, then that thing rules. If something is not fun, then that thing is done, except if it's essential. So that's kind of the gist of this game, is that it's built very, very open. So yeah, that is that. And the only thing, these probably will not play into part because we don't have enough time. There needs to be a build and a rise, and because how many people we have, we probably won't get much into these. If you want to go into that and say, oh, I wanted to try this out, I will definitely allow you to, but it's going to be hard to introduce in like a 2-hour, 3-hour little event. So that is something that these probably won't come into play. You don't even probably need to worry about these. These are the, so there's like minor gods or anything that's kind of in that like realm of legendary spirits, something that's a little bit separate from a myth. I don't know. I kind of made it don't matter. I made it like a distinction between myths and like higher beings. So we're not going to be using that. We're mostly going to probably be using the gods. So I pointed at what was not the gods. There we go. So some of them have skill trees. Most of them do not. I've been working on a lot of crap. Haven't got to all of them. So whenever you go ahead and do your choose your character, I will be able to tell you what skills are available to you first, and we'll go through that. But choose what god that you see that you like and you feel is that meshes with you, but also pay attention to these right here, like all of this. This will tell you what you can go ahead and do and what you can force some people into. Some people you can force into spiritual checks, or you have to do a spiritual check. So like look out for these. So you see how it says DMCH, DMCH, DMCH. This one has HP, CH. Then that's a special token. So you see that DMCH. So he needs a lot of mind and a lot of spirit. So if that's not your jam, like you don't want to go ahead and have to think of unique ways to use your abilities or be able to use magic that is like constantly use magic to protect yourself and dodge out the way, constantly being like on that razor edge, like kind of like a glass cannon, like boom, 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 oh, it dropped. You know, that's kind of what this is like constantly moving around, not getting hit, also using abilities to heal yourself. That's what Anubis really is about. But you need to, if you want to get the most out of this game, read through the gods and figure out what god you want, and then that's all you really need to do. Everything else can be explained and figured out. end all be all. If you figure out what gods you want to use and what stats you need to go ahead and put on, you're golden. So like for Ares, let's go ahead and do him. So HP, DM, HP, DM, HP, DM, DM. So he needs a lot of mind and a lot of body. So putting that onto him will make him a very strong and intelligent fighter that carves people up and is constantly dodging, moving, and moving out the way. And that's what you will get from him. And he also has a lot of attacks and a lot of damage from a lot of his abilities. So then we keep on moving on. DM, HP, DM, CH, HP. So she's kind of a mixed bag. She has a lot of things that are moving around. So you can kind of build her as a balanced character, a lot of health, and then be able to use kind of like a Mario of a game, or a basic but very fun character that you can go ahead and fit into any mold. So there's plenty of characters. Like, you just if you want to be a blaster, look for a character that has a lot of CHs in there. If you want to be a person that's like step and then doing like all these counterattacks or breaking statues or knocking things off the walls to go ahead and smash people, then you want to go ahead and use DM. If you want to be the person that's like, I can tank everything, I'm in the front with the axe, that's me. Then you want to use body. So just think of that while you're looking through. And if you read these and you don't like the character, most likely you won't like the rest, because I have tried to make this the building block for everything else. So that is kind of the end all be all of it. Just if you want to know the rules and be very well in depth, go ahead and do the Trinity System Guide. If you want to go ahead and look at the gods, that's something I would say really do, because it's kind of hard. Like, I can lead you to a god. Also, I forgot to say this. So there's a normal path and a chaos path. So if you take the chaos path, you get extra points to put towards your character. And by the way, you don't if you if you want to be a blaster character, there's 6 skill points. So it's when you start. So that's going to be actually, I had to probably give you guys more because you guys are doing just a one shot, and to get through this one shot, you probably a little more. So you guys are probably going to be somewhere around 9. So be able to go ahead and get you guys a decent amount of charges, a decent amount of abilities, and yeah, it's going to be fun. But what I was getting at is that with all this, the thing that you only need to really worry about is make sure you pick your god. Everything else I can go ahead and guide you through. And if you don't know which god you want, that's fine too. There's a almost like a quiz that I built that tests you as you go through the game, and it will kind of lead you to a god. So that's another path, and that path will also give you some extra skill points because you did the chaos path where you didn't have control. And whenever you don't have control, is a part of the game. Just I don't want to get too hard in lore, but if we have time, we might have a 1 or 2 people maybe step into getting a a minor god or a myth. I doubt it, but it's possible. But that's where I want to go ahead and end this. How long has this been? I hope this hasn't been like 20 minutes. 20 minutes. Dang, I knew it. All right, but I'm gonna go ahead and probably put some timestamps so you can skip through it. All right, peace.